is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Down South Up North. I'm joined by both Kyle and Game. Gentlemen, how y'all doing? It's been a while since we've had three faces on the screen.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good to be back. Blessed to be back, might I add. And ready to talk some sports with my gang, man. Missed y'all, boys. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm ready for today's show.
All right, that's pretty subtle there, Kyle. But hey,
well, we were just talking for 30 minutes before, so I ain't got much to say.
That's true. But we've got a lot to talk about. Got a lot going on this weekend. Not much college football, but I know Gabe's in for some UFC stuff. So first, let's get to the athletic alert. All right. Got a big presentation for a very important trophy on Saturday night up by me in New York City, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
The Heisman Trophy will be awarded to one of the four following candidates, either Ashton Jeanty, Travis Hunter, Dillon Gabriel, or Cam Ward. Now, I think everybody knows it's most likely not going to go to a quarterback, which is pretty shocking, given the fact that in previous years it's usually a quarterback award. But that's why I love college football better than the NFL in some cases, because they actually do give it to different guys. But I'm just going to moderate here. I'll give my prediction last, but I will open the floor to either one of you. So just looking, I think we can all agree it's going to be between Jeanty or Hunter. Is that fair to say?
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
So, Gabe, we'll start with you. Jeanty for Boise State, 275 carries, 2,062 rushing yards, 27 rushing touchdowns, 18 receptions for 102 yards, and a touchdown receiving. While Travis Hunter, on the other hand, plays both sides of the ball, something we haven't seen in all of our lifetimes, and then some. 92 receptions at wide receiver, 1,152 receiving yards, 14 touchdowns, 4 picks, and a forced fumble. And he also has some rushing stats out there. Can literally do anything on the football field if you ask him. But, Gabe, we'll start with you. After hearing those numbers, on Saturday night, who gets the Heisman Trophy if you are handing out the award?
It is a tough decision. I will say it's refreshing to know that we don't have any quarterbacks up for grabs for the Heisman, so I love that aspect. But at the same time, both of these guys have been elite. Like, I think, honestly, I'm not mad at either choice, but I think there is a clear winner. I think if Ashton Jeanty continues on this playoff run to look how he is and just stack up more yards, because I believe it counts regardless, stack up more yards for a single season record, I'm going with Ashton Jeanty. If I had to put my life on the line, Kyle, I'm going with Ashton Jeanty. I just feel like he's been too elite at the position. We haven't seen any running backs really kind of take off like he has. He was normally a receiving back his junior season. Nobody really had him on his radar for a draft. I'm big into looking at like dynasty running backs that are coming up in fantasy football. And Jeanty wasn't on the radar for someone who might be coming out and looking as a big prospect. But this year, was an elite receiver or receiving back at Boise State last year. This year, just showing he can get 7-8 yards per carry every pop. I think he's a lock in the NFL draft the NFL to be a great player, kind of like when we saw Zeke come out of college. And I also just think he's just for sure by far the best college player. Travis, he's a dog. He's right up there with him. But it just feels like Jeanty just does more in my eyes. Even though Travis plays so many different positions, I just think Jeanty's more dominant on offense, and you got to be dominant to be able to be the Heisman. And I just think he dominates at one position so well, it doesn't matter how Travis dominates at both positions per se.
Kyle, you're rolling your eyes.
No. I agree. I'm a little tired, but
Hyping me up.
yeah,
He's hyping me up.
I mean, Gabe said everything needed. Like, he's averaging 7.3 yards per carry. And I think a lot of people could agree with this take. Besides Joe Burrow's Heisman season, the greatest Heisman season ever is Barry Sanders' his senior year at Oklahoma State, and Genty is 138 yards away from breaking that record. Like, Barry Sanders is one of the greatest running backs of all time, and if you look at his games from Oklahoma State, it's just nasty, dude. It's like 250, 260, 220, 210, like, and that's what Genty's doing, bro. Like, ran for 209 in the conference championship against UNLV. Runs for 226 the game before that. Bro, I'm looking at his stats, and it's just 200, 200, 200. Like, he has, let's see how many 200-yard games he has. 1, 2,
well,
3,
Kyle, while you're
4,
looking at that, too,
5,
they
6.
said he couldn't face big competition. He dogged Oregon. He ran the ball well.
Yeah, and they lost that game by 3, and hell, hadn't it been for a few kick returns, they very easily could have won that game.
Facts.
Easily. He dropped 6 touchdowns against Georgia Southern, but it's Georgia Southern. Dropped 3 touchdowns against Oregon, where, I mean, last weekend going into the conference championships, people are like, Oregon's defense is so elite. Give me the Ducks, bro, against Penn State. Bro, he dropped almost 200 yards and 3 touchdowns on them. It was averaging almost 8 yards per carry. Like, bro, this guy's a demon. And I know everyone's saying, oh, Travis plays both sides of the ball, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, but I don't want to downplay Travis Hunter's season, but, like, who has he played?
Yeah, I think they're kind of in the same boat with competition. Like, both teams have seen
I wanted to add, it's cool that we don't see any SEC teams in here.
Facts.
Like, especially in a year that Texas and Oklahoma both went to the SEC, right? 2 great programs. I mean, Oklahoma had a bad year, but it's interesting to see. But
more than that, it's nice to see that, like you said, a quarterback's not going to win this award.
That too. But look, so you guys both have Genty. I think he was great. I think he had a fantastic season. Kyle, it's pretty remarkable that Barry Sanders still has, what'd you say, 138 yards on him?
Yeah, something like that.
Like all these years later, I think that's just incredible. But look, guys, I hate to say this. I really do. In any other year, I would be taking Genty to win this award.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's just like we don't see a player play 2 sides at the level that Travis Hunter is playing. He's playing wide receiver and corner, and he's not like less at one than he's the other. I mean, he's one of the nation's top receivers. He's one of the nation's top corners. It's ridiculous that this guy is on the field 90% of the time. 90%! And he's doing it at an elite level. And I understand their competition is not great, but Colorado's no slouch. They went 9-3. They rightfully are in the top 25. They're playing in a bowl game. Like, they're going to have success. Like, it sucks because I'm a big fan of running backs, and we haven't really seen, like, college have a running back face over a quarterback in a long, long time. But in any other year, I'm giving it to Genty. But I can't sit here and say, yo, let's take a guy who's on the field 90% of the time and not give him the best college football player award. I can't do it. I really can't.
I feel that, Matt. I feel like a part of my opinion also is I really think Shedeur Sanders actually should belong in at least that Heisman finalist range. And because of that, I feel like I kind of bumped Travis down a little bit. Because I really think Shedeur actually has shown he's probably the top quarterback in college football right now.
I mean, I would agree he's top 3. Hell, he might go he might be the first quarterback taken off the board, without a doubt. A lot of that, I think, is because of his dad. A lot of that's, because of that situation going on there. But I just don't know. I mean, you saw him against Nebraska, right? A quality football team. They did not look good. But you could also make the same argument for Cam Ward. There's a lot of games that Miami should not have won. They should not have beaten Virginia Tech. In my opinion, I don't think that was a touchdown at the end of the game. They lost to Georgia Tech, which, by the way, Yellow Jackets had a great year. Kyle, you know that story.
Great football team.
But there was a lot of times like Miami did not look good because of Cam Ward. So I would agree, but again, it's not heard of like ever that a player plays at an elite level on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, that's why I said you can't be mad at either take. You can't say someone's stupid for believing.
Saturday night, I think all three of us can kind of sit here and agree that I'm not going to be disappointed if it goes to Jeanty or Hunter. Either way, they'll both get awards.
They'll both get a ton of awards.
I will be disappointed, however, if it goes to Cam Ward or Dylan Gabriel.
It's not.
I don't think it is either. But
if they even consider a quarterback out of those, they honestly shouldn't have a ballot. If anybody gets a vote other than those two, invalid ballots. So hopefully we don't see another Verlander situation. I know you like that show, Kyle, where the best player is getting like non-votes. You know, someone's not even putting them on their ballot. So I think they'll get the right call.
Look, especially now I didn't do my research. Do the former Heisman finalists have any say into who wins the current one?
I don't believe so.
I don't think they do.
Okay.
I don't think they do. But I was going to say Reggie Bush.
I know Reggie don't.
I was going to say Reggie Bush is going to be back, so it'd be funny if he had
some. I think they just have say in who like gets on the committee. I think.
Yeah. I mean, they gotta have some influence, but in terms of voting, I don't think they do. But I don't know. Having Reggie Bush there would have helped Gianti's case, but
I will say before we move on. I saw a crazy thing. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday night. Travis Hunter won the Lot Impact Award, presented annually to a defensive college football player for their personal character and athletic abilities. Impact is an acronym for integrity, maturity, performance, academics, community, and tenacity. Then he wins the Paul Hornung Award. I might have just butchered the living shit out of that.
One for defensive back award?
Yes, the best. Dude, I think it's just flat out best defense of player.
Oh, okay, wow. See, low-key, if he gets that kind of makes me think they're giving him an awards just to let him down, But
I want to say there was another award that he won, and it was a crazy stat. It was the last 8 Heisman winners have won this award. So it's like, damn.
But the tough thing is, I honestly think Travis may be the most impactful, but I just believe Ashton Jeanty is the best. So it just depends on the criteria.
See, I wouldn't disagree. I think you turn in terms of domination. Like if I'm going up against Boise State or Colorado, I'm way more afraid of Jeanty getting the ball. But I also think the committee's going to take into question, and I know this is huge. A lot of people are bitching and complaining on social media. They're feeding this guy 30 times, but it's like, look, if you were the coach, if you were the offensive coordinator, Gabe, would you not do the same thing? Kyle, would you not do the same thing?
When Clemson had CJ Spiller, I know it's not the same, but we fed him like 25
That's
carries.
what I'm saying. Like, yo, if you're like, I'm not going to give a guy who only gets 3 yards a carry the ball 35 times a game. No, if he's getting 10, 15, 20, 50 plus yards on runs every single game like Jeanty has, give it to him.
Facts. I'm there with you.
So, I don't know. Regardless of who wins, I think we have a good winner either way.
Exactly. You almost can't go wrong.
Okay, speaking of this weekend, got a big fight, so let's get right into Gabe's Campbell. Gabe, not a UFC main event this weekend, but a pretty packed fight night. You got a couple predictions for us, so take it away.
So I'm going to go with the money parlay That's only because I normally don't only go with 2 legs, which makes it a money parlay. But we have a big dog in this parlay. We're not going to get too risky. We got 2 exciting fights. But let me start with the non-underdog. Let's start with the favorite, Manel Kape. Manel Kape, I know this might surprise you, but I'm going against a Brazilian as he's fighting Silva. But Manel Kape in his last performance, he looked great. I mean, he ended up losing that fight. If you remember correctly, I'm forgetting the flyweigh's name. I can't remember his name. Can't remember the flyweigh's name. But that flyweight beat him and then got kicked out of the UFC while he was undefeated. But Manel Kape showed in that fight his striking's elite. He could hurt anyone. And his grappling's good enough not to get taken down repetitively. Silva does not have good grappling outside of jiu-jitsu, so he won't be able to take him down efficiently. I think Manel Kape gets it done, and I think he gets it done by KO. But we're just going to stick with money line because it's a flyweight fight, and I'm taking Manel Kape to take the first victory. You guys have any memories of that fight I'm talking about? All the security got in the ring where Manel Kape was versing this other flyweight that was undefeated. A bunch of security was in there.
I've seen
Ended
clips.
up getting in the fight, was boring, but not because of Manel.
I'm looking. It was Muhammad Makayev.
Makayev. Okay,
Makayev.
That's right. Thank you. I was blanking his name. But when he fought Makayev was undefeated, an absolute dog. And he looked good against him. It was a boring fight, but Manel Kape showed that he's the top level of that division. And you don't find a lot of flyweights that are elite. So I think if he gets a knockout or a big win here, I think he might get a title fight even after this. But I'm going with Manel Kape minus 400. But that's because we're about to have a dog on the next one.
Okay.
Feeling good.
All right.
You ready for the next one?
I've been patiently waiting for this next one. Curious to.
Because they know it's the main event.
I do.
Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley. Buckley, if you don't know Buckley, it's Mr. Knockout of a lifetime. He had the best that he got his leg held, spun around, head kick, got the best KO I've ever seen in mixed martial arts and in the UFC. But he has some gaps in his game, and that's what Colby Covington Chaos will expose. He's going to take him down at will, show him that cardio is king, and he's going to win. And they have Colby Covington at plus 220. The first time Colby's been at these odds since his opening debut. He has never been a dog like this ever because he consistently wins. He lost the past 2 fights, but anytime he gets this level of competition, he fought Robbie Lawler, who was kind of at this level. He dominates these people at these levels, and I don't think Joaquin Buckley is a future champion. I think he's only beating guys that he can beat, and that's why he's had losses to Kevin Holland and a few other fighters that just strike with him and end up knocking him out. I genuinely think Colby Covington does not KO him, but wins off that periodic cardio that chaos brings. You know what I'm saying, boys? I know you guys pay attention to Colby Covington. What do you think? You think Colby gets it done?
Cardio is king. I like that.
I think he does. I think Colby just has way too much experience than Buckley. Mm-hmm. I mean, is this Buckley's first main event?
It's his second, I believe. He had one and lost, actually, Kyle, to that point. He lost after he got that crazy knockout. He fought again and got knocked out himself. So he's lost at the big stage. He just beat Wonderboy Thompson. Maybe I hate him for that, and maybe I'm a little biased, but regardless, I still feel like this is a strong pick. Colby at plus 220 is ridiculous, and if you can throw a parlay like Manel Kape on top of it, I think it's the best money you can get.
Well, looking at the side-by-side comparison, Buckley has a 4-inch reach on Colby.
And Buckley will be able to knock him out if they stand for too long. If Colby can't get those takedowns, put that pressure on Buckley, if Buckley stuns him early, it could be trouble. And I think that's what the odds makers are seeing. But I don't think over a 5-round period that Buckley will knock him out. Colby's not going to stand there with him like Wonderboy Thompson did and just stand up the whole time. He won't have those opportunities to get that. And Buckley's cardio is questionable too. So if he brings him in them deep rounds, it's a 5-round fight. First ever 5-round fight though, Kyle, even though it's not his first main event. First ever 5-round fight, and I don't think he gets it done. I think chaos ensues. and Colby Covington gets back in that title picture, which is very surprising. I don't think it takes much the way Colby can talk, but I think he gets back in that title picture right after this fight, even at his old age.
I mean, Buckley's on a 5-fight win streak.
He's been cooking.
But I know, I mean, it's tough because I know fighting, it's not like, all right, like they get hot at the right time. Like these fights are spaced out, all throughout the year. But I don't know. I mean, Covington likes to talk a lot of shit, so he's going to back it up. I know he had the press conference earlier this week talking shit about LeBron James from the jump. He's like, yo, I know I'm the shit, but I want to ask LeBron a question or whatever. So, he knows he's topic of discussion. And if he's already bringing backing it up with his talk, you got to walk the walk and talk the talk. And he can do both. So I agree with you guys. I mean, I think Covington is the guy to shut down this 5-fight win streak from Buckley. But I think...
And Buckley fights a lot, to your point, Matt. And he lost to Kevin
Right. So, I
Holland.
mean, yeah, it's just simple math. All right, if you fight more, you higher odds of getting streaks like that.
Yeah, swinging the pendulum, right?
And his recent fights have been co-mains. Like either they've been all co-main events. So this one, like you're the lights are the brightest here.
Exactly. And I think this is, if Buckley does win this, though, we have to talk about him as a title contender.
I was gonna say, I mean, like if he wins his fight, you can't really say much else about him.
He's always going to have that highlight tape, man. I'll tell you that. Best KO I've ever seen in my life. He has it. So, as much as I say I don't think he has these skills, he has that knockout power where anywhere and at any time he can knock you out. So, Colby's going to have to keep head at bay, make sure he's moving. But I think if he gets out of the first, I think he'll be fine and the chaos will ensue. I think the odds makers honestly make this way, boys, because Leon Edwards just outclassed Covington in his last fight. Colby also hasn't fought in like a year and a half. So these are two big factors why it's like this. But plus 220. I don't think you guys realize, like, plus 220, usually you don't know anything about the fighters if it's plus 220 or the other guys getting dog walked. I think plus 220 is just too good to be true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, that's Vegas, man. And if
Vegas knows something we don't.
Yeah, if I'm placing a bet, I see plus 220, man. That's a lot of green. I am seeing green.
The last one. Hey, boy, it was Ian Gary beating MVP, even though I didn't want that. And then the last one was Bilal Muhammad with a huge upset. So I've got 2 dogs the past 2 welterweight fights I've bet on, and they both hit. So we're hoping for that Bilal Muhammad juju, and we get it done with chaos in the main event.
I like it, dude.
I think we will. Hey, for a non number UFC 3 whatever, I think we're in store for a good one this weekend.
Banger, and we get to see Cub Swanson come back and fight his old ass.
I will be watching because there ain't much else to be watching.
Fighting. Yeah, there's some dogs.
Easy money.
Yeah, but guys, that's gonna do it for today's episode, gentlemen. Today was a good episode, dude. It's been a while since all 3 of us were just shooting the shit, talking sports, man. But how'd you guys like today's episode?
Mean green booty clapping machine.
I mean, no, I agree. I mean, we didn't look. We had disagreements, but I think we're all gonna be happy regardless of the outcome on Saturday. And hey, look, we got a lot to look forward to.
I think I was correct in everything I said.
No. Per usual, look, I didn't want to go here, but we'll save it for the end. Per usual, you have those wrong predictions about NFL, especially football.
Guys, we're listening to it.
Look. I'll give you UFC, but I think football is your weakness in terms of.
I said Steelers winning the Super Bowl, and they will.
Yeah, you also said they'll beat the Cowboys, and how'd that go?
How are they doing now?
Okay,
not
good.
Kyle, send us out of here.
Not good.
Yeah, all right, that's enough.
Yeah, you guys scared.
But
we
guys,
will be back.
if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Comment overrated for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Check out all of our social medias down in the description below. Dude, even when we end recording, these guys are still going to be going at it. But hope you guys had a good Friday. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.